The last laugh. Dr. Elena Martinez stood at the main observation deck of the Quantum Observatory, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that stretched from floor to ceiling. 20 years of studying quantum mechanics hadn't prepared her for what she was seeing. The numbers weren't just wrong, they were impossible. "Run it again, AI." She commanded the station's AI, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. The artificial intelligence complied silently, its quantum processors humming as they recalculated the anomaly for the 7th time. The results remained unchanged. Across the known universe, reality itself was beginning to unravel. The Quantum Observatory, humanity's proudest achievement in space, hung in high Earth orbit like a sophisticated spider web made of crystalline strands and iridescent panels. It was designed to detect the subtlest quantum fluctuations across spacetime. But today it was picking up something far more disturbing. Ambassador Calthor of the Vedran Collective, their closest alien allies, materialized beside her in a shower of silver particles. His translucent skin pulsed with patterns of concern. "Dr. Martinez, the collective's sensors have confirmed your findings. The quantum decay is accelerating." Elena nodded grimly. The Vedrans, with their mastery of quantum entanglement communication, had been humanity's first contact nearly 30 years ago. They'd helped humanity leap forward centuries in scientific understanding, but even they seemed puzzled by this crisis. "Look at this pattern, Ambassador," Elena said, gesturing to a particular section of the display. "It's not random decay. There's intelligence behind it, a signature we've never seen before." The ambient lighting shifted to red as another alarm triggered. Aria's calm voice filled the chamber. "Alert. Quantum disruption detected in the Arcturus sector. Local space-time stability at 47% and declining." Elena's colleague and head of quantum computing, Dr. James Wong, burst into the observation deck. His usually immaculate lab coat was wrinkled, and his gray hair stuck out at odd angles. "Elena, you need to see this. We've managed to decode part of the quantum signature." The holographic display shifted, showing a complex pattern of interwoven quantum states. To most observers, it would look like abstract art, but to Elena, it was like reading a familiar book written in an impossible language. "It can't be," she whispered, her coffee cup slipping from her fingers and shattering on the deck. Nobody moved to clean it up. Ambassador Calthor's skin shifted to a deep purple of confusion. "What do you see, Doctor?" "The signature," Elena said, her voice barely audible. "It's human technology. Not our current level, but it's definitely human in origin. The base patterns match our quantum manipulation experiments perfectly, just thousands of years more advanced." The implications hit her like a physical blow. Humanity's future selves had evolved to a point where they could manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. And for some reason, they had decided that the current universe needed to be unmade. The next few hours passed in a blur of emergency meetings, quantum calculations, and increasingly desperate attempts to understand the full scope of the crisis. The Galactic Council, representing over 300 spacefaring civilizations, convened an emergency session. Elena found herself standing before them, trying to explain how humanity's present experiments in quantum manipulation, combined with their future selves' actions, had created a temporal causality loop that threatened to unravel the very fabric of existence. In simple terms, she concluded, her voice echoing through the vast chamber, "Our future selves have become something beyond our comprehension. They've achieved the ability to rewrite reality itself, and they're using that power to systematically deconstruct the universe. We don't know why, but we know when it started, with our first successful quantum manipulation experiments." The chamber erupted in chaos. The crystalline actions shattered in distress, their pieces tinkling against the floor. The gaseous Ziph representatives swirled in agitated patterns. The normally stoic Vedran skin flickered through a rainbow of emotional colors. But it was the human representatives who showed the most shocking reaction. For the first time in recorded galactic history, they sat in complete, humorless silence. Admiral Marcus Chen, the head of Earth's Space Force, stood up slowly. His weathered face, usually quick to smile even in crisis, was set in stone. "There's only one solution, isn't there, Doctor?" Elena nodded, feeling the weight of history settling onto her shoulders. "Yes, Admiral. To prevent our evolution into beings capable of unmaking reality, we must abandon all quantum manipulation research. Not just the dangerous experiments, all of it. Every project, every theory, every possibility. We must give up one of our greatest achievements and accept that our destiny to master reality itself is a threat to existence." The silence that followed was deafening. Humanity had faced extinction-level threats before. They'd survived first contact, interstellar wars, and cosmic disasters. Through it all, they'd maintained their characteristic optimism and humor. But now, faced with the knowledge that their own future evolution threatened all of existence, something fundamental changed in the human spirit. As the observatory's quantum sensors continued to record the unraveling of reality, Elena realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. The moment humanity lost its smile. Echoes of tomorrow. The news spread across Earth like a quantum shockwave. Within hours of Dr. Martinez's presentation to the Galactic Council, the information had leaked to every corner of human space. Humanity's future selves were systematically dismantling reality, and the only solution was to abandon the very technology that had propelled them to the stars. Professor Maya Patel stood in her quantum research lab at the Lunar Science Academy, watching her life's work being dismantled. 20 years of breakthrough research, 3 Nobel Prizes, and countless discoveries, all of it had to go. Her hands trembled as she initiated the deletion sequence for the quantum computer cores. "Professor," her AI assistant chimed, "are you certain about this? This action cannot be undone." Maya looked at the holographic displays, showing the progression of reality decay across the galaxy. Another star system had just winked out of existence, leaving behind nothing but quantum static. "Yes," she whispered. "Do it." Across human space, similar scenes played out. Research stations went dark. Quantum computers were powered down. Theoretical physics departments archived their work and closed their doors. The great human endeavor to understand and manipulate the quantum realm came to a grinding halt. In high Earth orbit, Dr. Elena Martinez monitored the effects with Ambassador Calfor. The veteran's skin had taken on a muted gray tone, their expression of deep contemplation. "The quantum signature is changing," Elena noted, studying the readings. "The decay is slowing, but something else is happening." The holographic display showed a new pattern emerging in the quantum fabric of space. Where before there had been chaotic unraveling, now there were what looked like holes. Perfect, circular voids in reality itself. Admiral Chen's voice crackled over the comm. "Dr. Martinez, are you seeing this? Our deep space probes are picking up similar phenomena across multiple sectors. They're not just holes," Ambassador Calfor said, his skin pulsing with patterns of revelation. "They're windows. Your future selves. They're watching us." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. The ambassador was right. These weren't just random effects of quantum decay. They were observation points. Their future selves were monitoring their response to the crisis. In Washington, D.C., the Emergency Council for Human Affairs convened in the underground bunker beneath the White House. Dr. James Wong presented the latest findings to world leaders and military commanders. "The good news is that stopping our quantum research has begun to stabilize the universe," he explained, his voice echoing in the tensely silent chamber. "The bad news is that we're seeing increasing evidence of temporal observation. Our future selves aren't just destroying reality. They're studying our reaction to it." "But why?" demanded the Chinese premier. "What could possibly drive our descendants to such extremes?" The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of the Tokyo Institute for Temporal Studies, had been analyzing historical data alongside the quantum readings. Her hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, her aged face grave. "I believe I understand," she said softly. "Look at the pattern of the decay. It's not random. It's spreading outward from specific points in space-time, points where humanity made significant breakthroughs in quantum physics. Our future selves aren't trying to destroy reality. They're trying to prevent something worse." The revelation hit Alina like a physical blow. She pulled up the quantum decay patterns, overlaying them with Dr. Tanaka's analysis. The pattern was clear now. Their future selves were surgically removing specific threads of quantum possibility from the fabric of reality. "They found something," Alina whispered. "Something so terrible that they're willing to rewrite the entire universe to prevent it from happening." Admiral Chen's weathered face appeared on the main display. "Doctor, we're picking up massive quantum fluctuations in the Arcturus sector. Something's coming through." The observation windows in reality were growing larger. Through them, impossible geometries began to take shape, structures that shouldn't exist in three-dimensional space, built by beings who had transcended the basic laws of physics. Maya Patel, watching from her now empty lab on the moon, understood first. "They're not just watching," she said into the emergency channel. "They're waiting to see if we understand, if we'll make the right choice." The choice was clear, but its implications were staggering. Humanity would have to do more than just abandon quantum research. They would have to actively work to prevent any civilization from developing it. They would have to become the guardians of a simpler universe, forever watching for the signs that had led to their own devastating evolution. As the quantum windows slowly began to close, a message appeared across every quantum-capable device in human space. It wasn't in words, it was pure mathematical expression, the language of reality itself. But its meaning was clear to anyone who could read it. Choose wisdom over power. Choose existence over transcendence. Choose to remain human. The message was signed with a quantum signature that matched their own technology perfectly, the last echo of what humanity might have become, and now never would. The weight of time. 1 month after the quantum shutdown, humanity faced its first test. A young Arctesian researcher had independently discovered the basic principles of quantum manipulation. Dr. Alina Martinez stood before the Galactic Council once again, but this time as Earth's chief scientific advisor, tasked with preventing the very discoveries she had once pursued. The Arctesian theories must be redirected, she explained to the assembled representatives. "We're not suggesting interference with their scientific development, just subtle guidance away from quantum manipulation." The council chamber, once a place of heated debate, had grown quieter since the crisis. The various species had watched humanity's transformation with a mixture of awe and unease. The humans, once known for their boundless scientific curiosity, had become the universe's self-appointed guardians against quantum advancement. Ambassador Calfor, now serving as the liaison between Earth and the Vedran Collective, spoke up. "The collective has observed concerning patterns in human behavior. Your species shows signs of what we believe you call depression." He wasn't wrong. The loss of quantum technology had been more than just a scientific setback. It had forced humanity to confront a fundamental truth. Their destiny was not among the stars as gods of reality, but as shepherds protecting the universe from their own potential. Admiral Chen, watching from the orbital command center, had seen the change in his crews. The usual banter and jokes had given way to a solemn dedication to their new mission. Ships that once explored the frontiers of space now patrolled established territories, watching for signs of dangerous advancement. Professor Maya Patel had found a new purpose. She transformed her lunar laboratory into the Center for Alternative Technologies, focusing on developing new ways to progress without quantum manipulation. Her team worked on solutions that embraced the limitations of classical physics, finding creativity in constraint. "We're not going backwards," she explained to a group of young scientists. "We're going sideways. There are countless paths to the future. We just have to find the ones that don't lead to universal destruction." But not everyone accepted the new direction. Dr. James Wong had detected underground quantum research facilities on 3 different planets. Each had to be shut down, their discoveries erased, Their scientists redirected. It was painful work, made worse by the knowledge that they were stifling the same brilliance they had once celebrated. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's temporal studies had revealed something unexpected. As humanity stepped back from quantum advancement, other possibilities began to emerge. Species that might have been overshadowed by human quantum dominance started to develop in fascinating new directions. "Look at the Zeph," she reported during an emergency council session. "Without the pressure to compete with our quantum technology, they're developing remarkable innovations in biological computing. The actions have advanced their crystal-based technology in ways we never imagined possible." Helena found herself working closely with Ambassador Calthor to establish what they called the Quantum Detection Network. Using remaining quantum sensors in a passive mode only, they created an early warning system for dangerous technological development. "It's ironic," Helena noted one day, watching the network's status displays. "We've become what ancient humans would have called cosmic party poopers, stopping anyone from pushing too far into quantum territory." The ambassador's skin rippled with what she had learned was amusement. "Perhaps, but you've also become something else. The universe's immune system against its own destructive potential." The truth of his words was demonstrated when the network detected quantum fluctuations in the Carina sector. A previously unknown species had developed their first quantum computer. The response was swift but gentle. A diplomatic mission, a sharing of humanity's story, and a careful demonstration of alternative technologies. Maya Patel led that mission, standing before the alien scientists with understanding in her eyes. "We know the excitement of discovery," she told them. "We know the thrill of pushing beyond known limits, but we also know where that path leads. Let us show you another way." The aliens, after seeing the evidence and hearing humanity's story, chose to redirect their research. It was a pattern that would repeat across the galaxy. Humanity using their experience not to dominate, but to guide. As Elena watched another potential quantum crisis being averted, she received a message from Dr. Tanaka. The temporal scientist had been monitoring subtle changes in reality's fabric, and she had detected something extraordinary. The quantum windows, the observation points their future selves had created, were changing. They weren't closing entirely, but their nature was shifting. Instead of showing impossible geometries and signs of reality manipulation, they now displayed something much simpler. Stars, planets, and living beings continuing to exist in a universe that remained whole. "They're still watching," Elena realized. "Not to see if we'll stop them, but to see if we'll succeed where they failed, finding a way forward that doesn't lead to the power to unmake reality." The weight of that observation was heavy, but it carried a profound hope. Humanity had chosen to step back from the precipice of ultimate power, becoming instead the caretakers of a universe they had almost destroyed. In doing so, they had found a different kind of transcendence, not in mastering reality, but in preserving it. Silent Dawn. 6 months into humanity's new role as universal guardians, the Quantum Detection Network registered an anomaly that defied all expectations. Deep in the unexplored regions of the Cygnus Arm, something was causing reality to ripple in ways that eerily resembled the original crisis. Dr. Elena Martinez stood in the Emergency Response Center, studying the readings with growing concern. "This isn't like our previous interventions," she told the assembled team. "These signatures, they're not from a developing civilization. They're ancient." Admiral Chen's hologram flickered as he joined the discussion from his flagship. "The Space Force has detected unusual structures in that sector. They appear to be remnants of an advanced civilization, possibly millions of years old." Professor Maya Patel, linking in from her lunar facility, added her analysis. "The quantum signatures suggest these ruins aren't just old. They're from a civilization that achieved quantum manipulation long before humanity existed. We might not be the first species to face this choice." The implications were staggering. If another species had discovered quantum manipulation in the distant past, what had happened to them? And more importantly, why were their ruins suddenly active now? Ambassador Calthor's skin pulsed with urgent patterns. The veteran archives speak of the predecessors, a species that vanished at the height of their power. We always assumed they had destroyed themselves, but perhaps they made the same choice we did. Elena finished. But something has reactivated their technology. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's temporal readings confirmed their worst fears. The quantum disturbances are growing. Whatever failsafes the predecessors put in place are failing. If we don't act quickly, their ancient quantum technology could trigger the very catastrophe we've been trying to prevent. A joint human-alien expedition was hastily assembled. The research vessel, New Horizon, carried the best minds from a dozen species, along with a contingent of Space Force personnel. Elena found herself aboard, working alongside Maya, and a team of xenorchaeologists. As they approached the source of the disturbance, they encountered something unprecedented, a massive structure that seemed to phase in and out of reality itself. Ancient quantum technology, far more advanced than anything humanity had achieved, yet somehow familiar in its basic principles. "It's beautiful," Maya whispered, watching the structure shimmer. "And terrifying. They had mastered it completely, probably even more thoroughly than our future selves would have." The expedition's first challenge came when they detected life signs within the structure, not ancient readings, but current ones. Someone had reached the facility before them. Admiral Chen's voice crackled through the comm. "We've identified the interlopers. It's a group of human quantum researchers who went underground after the shutdown. They're trying to restart the facility." Elena felt her heart sink. Of course, some humans wouldn't accept the decision to abandon quantum research. These rogue scientists must have discovered the ancient facility and seen it as an opportunity to reclaim the forbidden knowledge. The next few hours were a race against time. While Space Force personnel worked to contain the rogue scientists, Elena and Maya led a team into the heart of the facility. What they found there changed their understanding of everything. The predecessors hadn't just abandoned quantum manipulation. They had created a vast network of monitoring stations throughout the galaxy. Each facility was designed to detect and prevent the development of dangerous quantum technologies. The facility they stood in was one of these stations, and it was failing. "Look at this," Maya called out, examining ancient data streams. They didn't just step back from quantum manipulation. They appointed themselves guardians, just like us. But they knew they wouldn't last forever, so they created these stations to continue their work. Elena studied the ancient controls, noting with surprise how intuitive they seemed. They must have known someone would eventually follow in their footsteps. These systems, they're designed to be understood by whoever found them. The rogue scientists had inadvertently triggered an ancient reactivation sequence, causing the facility's quantum systems to power up for the first time in millions of years. The resulting disturbances threatened to cascade throughout the galaxy. As Elena and her team worked to safely shut down the ancient systems, they discovered something extraordinary, a message left behind by the predecessors, encoded in the fabric of space-time itself. To those who follow, Elena translated, her voice trembling. "You stand where we stood, facing the same choice. Know that you are not alone. We chose existence over power, wisdom over transcendence. The network is yours now, to use or to shut down. Choose wisely." The message confirmed what they had suspected. Humanity wasn't the first species to step back from the brink of ultimate power. They were part of a legacy, inheritors of a responsibility that stretched back millions of years. As they worked to stabilize the facility, integrating its ancient systems with their modern quantum detection network, Elena realized they had discovered something far more valuable than quantum technology. They had found proof that their choice was the right one. When stars remember, 1 year after the discovery of the predecessor's facility, humanity gathered to mark a solemn anniversary. The great quantum shutdown had transformed not just their civilization, but their very understanding of their place in the universe. Dr. Elena Martinez stood before the assembled representatives of Earth and 100 alien worlds, preparing to unveil a discovery that would change everything once again. "We've completed our analysis of the predecessor's network," She began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber of the Galactic Council. What we found was more than just a warning system. It was a choice, repeated across billions of years and countless species. The holographic display behind her came to life, showing a spiral of lights stretching through time. Each point represented a civilization that had reached the quantum threshold and then, remarkably, chosen to step back. Professor Maya Patel, who had led the technical analysis, stepped forward. The predecessors weren't the first. Before them, there were others. Each civilization discovered quantum manipulation, saw its ultimate consequences, and made the same choice we did. Each then became guardians, watching over those who would follow. Admiral Chen, his uniform bearing the new insignia of the Guardian Fleet, added his report. The network isn't just ancient technology. It's a testament to wisdom passed down through the ages. Each civilization added to it, improved it, and then passed it on. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's temporal studies had revealed something even more profound. The quantum windows we saw during the crisis weren't just our future selves watching us. They were observers from across time. All the civilizations that had faced this choice, watching to see if we would join their ranks. But it was Ambassador Kelthor who delivered the most stunning revelation. His skin pulsing with patterns of deep significance, he shared what the veteran collective had discovered in their own studies of the network. The pattern is not infinite, he explained. The cycle of discovery, choice, and guardianship has been building toward something. Each civilization that chose wisdom over power has contributed to a greater purpose. Elena took over, her hand steady as she manipulated the holographic controls. The display shifted, showing a grand design hidden within the network itself. The predecessors and all who came before them weren't just preventing disaster. They were building something, a way to achieve the benefits of quantum manipulation without its ultimate dangers. The chamber erupted in murmurs as she explained further. Each civilization that had chosen to step back had also contributed their unique insights and technologies to this grand project. The predecessors' network wasn't just a warning system. It was a repository of accumulated wisdom and alternative approaches to universal advancement. We don't have to choose between progress and survival, Maya announced, her eyes bright with revelation. The network shows us a third path, one that combines the insights of countless civilizations who faced our same choice. The evidence was undeniable. The Zeph's biological computing, the Action's crystal technology, humanity's innovation in classical physics, all these alternatives to quantum manipulation were pieces of a greater whole. The network had been guiding each civilization toward compatible technologies that, when combined, could achieve what quantum manipulation promised without its existential risks. Our future selves showed us what we might become, Elena said, her voice filled with emotion. But the predecessors and their network show us what we can be. Not gods of reality, but part of an ancient legacy of wisdom and responsibility. The changes were already visible. The human colonies that had once raced to expand now grew more deliberately, working in harmony with other species. Research that had once focused on pushing boundaries now sought to understand and build upon the accumulated wisdom of ages. Admiral Chen's Guardian Fleet had transformed from a police force into a peacekeeping and archaeological mission, seeking out and preserving the knowledge left behind by ancient guardians. Each discovery added to their understanding of the universe and their place in it. The quantum windows are changing again, Dr. Tanaka reported, studying her temporal readings. They're not closing, but transforming. They're becoming bridges. And indeed, through these transformed windows, they could now see not just their own possible futures, but glimpses of those who had come before. The predecessors and other ancient guardians had left more than just their technology. They had left a path forward, a way for all species to grow and advance together without risking the fabric of reality itself. As Elena stood in the observatory where she had first detected the crisis, she watched new quantum signatures appearing in the galactic map. But these weren't signs of danger. They were signals from other civilizations reaching their own quantum threshold, facing their own choice. "We used to think we were alone," she said to Ambassador Calthor, who stood beside her. "That humanity's burden was unique. But we're part of something greater, a chain of wisdom stretching across time itself." The ambassador's skin glowed with a color she had never seen before, the veteran expression of profound hope. "Perhaps that is the ultimate truth your future selves wanted you to discover. Not that you needed to be stopped, but that you needed to find your place in this greater legacy." As they watched another civilization approach its moment of choice, Alina smiled. The universe had not lost humanity's capacity for wonder and discovery. Instead, it had gained something far more precious, their commitment to preserving not just existence, but the wisdom of ages. In stepping back from the brink of ultimate power, they had become part of an eternal dance of discovery, choice, and guardianship that would continue long after their own civilization had passed into legend.